So if you're like me, and probably like most of us, we got into rideshare driving thinking about the money we can make. Even though I'm doing part-time driving now, a little bit here and there in Sacramento, when I started, I was doing full-time driving in San Francisco, and I was making like $2,000 to $2,500 a week. That's what I thought. But there are these expenses that are kind of hidden that you got to take into account. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you what I think are the top 5 kind of hidden, sneaky expenses. They kind of sneak up on you. And I'm going to give you some suggestions as ways to deal with these expenses so they're as small as possible. And just give you some knowledge so that you can manage your business as efficiently as you can. And stick around. I'm going to share with you the number one hidden expense, and it can't even be measured in dollars. So all that and a lot more coming right up. All right, hey everybody, it's Jay Crater with the RideShare Guy. I'm gonna drink a little bit of my cold brew, collagen peptides, and protein drink, vanilla flavored. Pretty damn good, and good for the older bodies. A lot of protein. Okay, so by way of background, when you run a business, you've got to know your numbers. When I was a coach and I was coaching people on being a coach, I said you got to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you can't really know exactly how you're doing. So I understood that there were some expenses with being a rideshare driver, right? Gasoline, right? That's a very obvious expense. I knew I drank a Starbucks every day. I knew that was an expense. But it wasn't until I took a harder look at the numbers that I realized just how much I was putting out to keep my little rideshare business going. Okay, number 1, vehicle depreciation. So if you own your own car and you're driving it, you're probably not considering how much wear and tear you're putting on your car. And the value of your car is declining faster because you're putting a lot of wear and tear on it. Now, what can you do about that? Well, choose the right car. So what I did was I rented a car through an Uber program. And at the time I was paying $147 a week for a Toyota Prius. And that included insurance. So that was a great deal. I thought back then, and I drove that car for 3.5 years. I drove it into the ground. I put like 250, close to 300,000 miles on it because I drove it so much. And I did not have to worry about the depreciation. I just had to make that $147 a week payment. And as long as I was driving full time, I thought that was pretty good. So what are some other things you can do? Well, you could look and see if you want to rent a car. What you're seeing right now is the Uber marketplace, and you can see cars are going for about $260 to $275 a week. So that's a little more than I was paying, but the cars are actually nicer too. So that's an option. If you're going to drive full time, I would highly recommend that. The other 2 things you can do is provide your car with regular maintenance, so it doesn't, so it's like your body, right? You want to give it good food, right? So you want to exercise, you want to keep it going, and same with your car. So the more regular maintenance you do, so you don't get you don't wear it down, will make the depreciation less. Also, the way you drive makes a big difference. So I admit I was a very aggressive driver, and I probably went through tires faster than most people because of the way I took turns. Lately, when I've been driving my own car, my Honda Accord hybrid, I drive much slower and I take turns much easier. You would say, Jay, everyone knows, you got to pay for gas. But the hidden part is that how the prices just sort of incrementally inch up. And it's ridiculous how much we're paying for gas now. I mean, I think 4 months ago, I was down around $4 a gallon here in California. And now we're closer to $6. One of the things you can do is use an app. So what you're seeing here is an app called Gas Buddy. and it'll show you the prices of gas all around, where you live, and you can select the least expensive gas. And given that there's a big difference in the lowest price gas versus the highest price gas, that's definitely something that you should take seriously. Okay, number 3 is insurance expense. So again, that's an expense that you need to take seriously. If you're a rideshare driver, you should be carrying rideshare driver car insurance. Now, for my first 2 years, I avoided this because I thought for sure that the rideshare insurance was going to cost a lot more than my personal policy. But what I found out was once I did the research and I actually bought a rideshare policy, it was less expensive. And I then had the peace of mind that if I got into an accident, I didn't have to worry about the insurance company say, well, wait a minute, you were doing rideshare driving for Uber, you didn't tell us, so we're not going to cover you. That's the risk you take, and that's the hidden expense. Number 4 is maintenance and repairs. So if you don't take care of your car, so you're driving along and you're thinking that's not an expense you need to concern yourself with, and if you're not regularly changing the oil, keeping track of the tires, getting the fluids changed, like my car is due for some kind of a fluid change after 100,000 miles. So the next time I go in, I've got to have all the fluids changed. Something's going to break, and that's the hidden expense. So you want to stay on top of your regular maintenance. One way you can reduce that cost, if you're good with the car, is do the repairs yourself. I used to change the oil in my car by myself. Number 5, and by far the biggest hidden expense, is time and opportunity cost. In other words, while you're out there driving, what else could you be doing, right? You got to ask yourself, what else could I be doing? Is there something I could be doing where I could be making more money than what I'm doing now? Or is there somebody I want to spend time with who I'm not spending time with because I'm driving all the time? Or how's this impacting my family, right? The people I interact with all the time. So these are very hidden costs. Some people think of these as sacrifices you make by, going out and working hard. So in my case, I had to look at, okay, I can make like $30 an hour. What could I do instead of this that would pay me more? And that's how I got into the day trading. So that's a way that you can ameliorate this expense, is look at how could you diversify your revenue, right? Is there something else you could be doing that could pay you more, right? So what are the key takeaways? Know your numbers. The number 1 rule of business is know your numbers. And what I recommend you do is you break out an Excel spreadsheet. If you're not good with a computer, break out a piece of paper and write down monthly revenue from your driving, and then go through and put all these things that I just listed out and any other expenses you can think of, and see how much you're actually making at the end of the month. And then think about what else you could do that might be able to pay you more, okay? So when the world starts pointing you in a direction, like right now, like I said, everyone's talking about how saturated the markets are getting, how saturated it is to be a rideshare driver. Maybe that's time to say, what else could I be doing? Is there something I could do regardless of what's happening in the rideshare market, right? Is there something I could do regardless of what the economy's doing? These are some powerful questions, inquiries that you can have with yourself, and ask friends, hey, what am I good at? What do you think I'd be really good at? Maybe you want to start a business, right? So, but the bottom line is you got to know your numbers so that you can make decisions that are based on actual facts and not, things that you're not quite sure about. All right. Hey, thanks for watching the video. This is Jay Crater with the RideShare Guy. If you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, subscribe. We got seems like we got a ton of videos coming out. So at least one a day. Oftentimes it seems like there's 2 or 3 a day. So, we got a lot of great content to keep you informed and to keep you moving forward. So subscribe. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up or smash that like button. Go out and have a great day. Go tell someone you love them, and be safe there. Be safe out there on the road. All right. See you next time. Bye for now.